Hey everyone, Jedi64 here, and welcome to episode 5 of Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Today we are going to be reviewing the episode, and I have to say, this is probably my favorite episode of the season so far. A lot of stuff happened in it, I feel like there was just a lot of emotion in this episode, and the humor in this episode was just fantastic. So, let us begin. So we open on at Aden, where we see the parents are trying to contact the Republic for help, but the supervisor is not helping them. And I have a theory, but I think SM-33's old captain is the supervisor. So that's my theory. So Neil's mom gives Wim's dad a device that'll help them steal an access code to be able to make a transition out of the planet. However, he gets caught, and thankfully, Firm's mom is able to prevent anyone from finding out about it. She's trying to do this through legal means, but that's not getting anywhere. So now they're going to have to force to make some tricky decisions. We then cut to the kids Jod and SM-33, who is now fixed. His programming has been put back together, where it's revealed that he is the captain of Captain Renid. At least I think that's his name. Who was a very well-known pirate over the years. He was looking for Aden. Jod explains that he was the best pirate who ever lived. That has to be the best pirate I've ever seen. But anyway, so SM-33 explains that if they head to Skull Ridge, his fortress in the bottom of the mountain should have the coordinates. So they head there. On the way there, SM-33 tells some stories about how they crash landed on Aden, and that explains how the ship was buried underground. But did the captain survive, or was it just his crew that died? I don't think the captain died. So we see Wim starting to have a hard time. He begins to break down, missing his father, and this isn't the adventure he was expecting. So Jod kind of just comes to him and say, "Hey, you just gotta take all those attachments and just get rid of them, man." Which makes me think he was a Jedi at some point, because that feels like a very Jedi thing to say, but also a little Sith, because it's kind of like you don't want to just throw all of that away. He uses the Force, and Wim asks, "Wait a minute, if you're not a Jedi, how can you do that?" But he walks away before he can get an answer. They then come to La Lupa, that's what the planet's called, and we see that it has been turned into a resort. And I love SM-33. He's like, "This is Skull Mountain? They ruined it." So yeah, they walk around a bit. They see a little. They go in some disguises, but they basically, using the old Republic credits, bribe them into coming in. We find out that the banking clan is here, which is a big deal because it means that the New Republic has rebuilt the banking clan into what it once was. We see a bunch of guards around, so they have to be careful. As they're checking into the hotel, Jod runs into a bounty hunter friend ish, who, believe it or not, I'm pretty sure is the person who voices that one princess in that one Pixar movie. I think it's called Brave or something. Anyway, she basically is casually threatening him and the kids, being like, "Hey kids, don't trust this Slimo," and walks away. They begin to look for the hidden fortress underneath the springs. They sneak around. They run into a giant whale squid thing that helps them out. They get into John and the kids get into a chase scene with the guards, and it's revealed that he has a lot of different fake names. So he has been around over the years. They make it to a pool of acid where they then have to make the greatest sacrifice, which for a pirate is treasure. They toss in an old Republic credit and they head inside the fortress. There's a bunch of booby traps. They avoid them, and then they finally find the coordinates at Aden. Jod and SM-33 play an old message from Captain. Dang, I forget his name, but the message is all distorted, so we can't see his face, which is for a reason. I'm calling it now. He's going to be the supervisor on Aden. That's my theory. and it's revealed that At Aden is the last Republic mint, which is basically where they make money, which means At Aden really is the planet of eternal treasure, which means there's infinite treasure and resources on that planet. Anyway, Jod then finally they've been like building up his betrayal for the whole season now. Invokes the code to battle to the death. So he basically is saying, "Yield, come on, man, yield." So she eventually yields, since you kind of do that in that situation. But then Wim pulls out a lightsaber, which I have to say, seeing him look at the lightsaber and like the music was just it was just so good. I just loved it. He pulls out the lightsaber and Jod is like, "Careful, Wim, this is one of your stories." And then he's holding it upside down, so he nearly cuts his foot off, and it goes flying to the other side of the room. So poor Wim, he's like trying so hard, and so he runs back to the other kids, and Firm is Firm surrenders, and Jod becomes the new captain, forcing SM-33 to cooperate with all of his orders. So, in order to prevent them from being taken prisoner, Wim presses a booby trap, and they fall into a chasm. They're definitely not dead. That'd be way too dark for a kid's show. So anyway, Jod uses the Force and grabs the lightsaber, and the episode ends with him turning it on. I have to say, I do not think Jod is going to get a redemption arc. I think he's just one of the main villains of the series. You know? Like, he just feels like too much of a corrupted individual to be redeemed. Because, like, he didn't even mourn the kids. Like, he thought they died falling in that chasm, and he didn't care. He just grabbed the lightsaber. Oh yeah. Oh, and the pirates also were notified, and they also are on their tail. So the pirates are at the resort. And in the next episode, it was spoiled in the trailer, but X-wings are going to come and help them, which makes me think that one owl lady will show up again. So yeah, I have to say this episode is a solid 10 out of 10. This episode was really good. Again, if you have not seen Skeleton Crew, I strongly advise you give it a watch. This series is honestly amazing. Anyway, with that said, be sure to like and subscribe. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.